Performance versus writing. Curious about writing jokes early on.
Because if you continue down that road, eventually you'll get to the point where you're skilled enough to perform those jokes on stage.
I just didn't do that until someone pulled me aside. It's like, I don't even know any of your jokes, because every week you come up doing something different.
When jokes come to me, it's because I'm laughing at something. So it's funny to me, but do I know if it's funny to other people? Not until I put it in front of other people.
This is solid advice for the 2 out of 9 people who try stand-up who are actually funny. Probably my favorite segment. I love this segment, and sometimes you love it, and sometimes you hate it. It's Indies Comedy Skreets. Week to week, Dante and myself, we hit up the message boards for comedy all over the internet, mainly Reddit. And we see what the people are talking about in the world of comedy. We give our advice, we give our 2 cents. And this week is going to be no different. From r/standup on Reddit, posted by OK Nefariousness 2914. Performance versus writing. Curious about writing jokes early on. For context, I've done 13 mics. I'm obviously learning when jokes are terrible and when they're worth keeping. But there's some jokes that I believe are funny despite them not working, and I think it's down to the fact that my performance/confidence still has a way to go. So I guess what's a better path? To just work on the performance side and figure out how to pull them off through trial and error, or only write/perform jokes that I have the ability to pull off for now? Do you want to start with your advice before I
Sure. I think from what I've heard around the streets, talking to, some OGs in the game and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The writing is probably more important than the performing, right?
Yes.
So it's good to write. It's better to write, and then you figure out how to perform what you wrote rather than just performing whatever.
Yeah, going up with no jokes.
With no jokes.
Let me figure it out.
Yeah. And also, writing jokes that you have the ability to pull off. I don't think you know what you have the ability to pull off when you're writing it.
Correct.
It's only when you're on stage that you're like, oh, I actually don't have the skills for that. And that shouldn't deter you from writing it anyways, because if you continue down that road, eventually you'll get to the point where you're skilled enough to perform those jokes on stage.
Yes. I jumped into comedy ass backwards, bro. Like I've said this multiple times. Like I had an understanding of jokes, but that's not where I put the emphasis. I put the emphasis on transitions, which to me, ultimately in the end is what made me such a strong comic. I think. Because I'm not saying like I had joke writing down pat when I got into this, but I had an understanding of jokes. I didn't have a writing style. And what I think kind of messed me up early on is I tried to force that. I don't think that's anything you can force. I think the best advice, honestly, is just to kind of naturally go where you feel you're weakest at the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you want to strengthen your weaknesses.
Like, so if you have a better understanding of jokes and joke writing, like, it's not like don't put an emphasis on getting stronger at that. But it's like assess where you feel weakest at any given moment and try and put the emphasis on that for that set. Feel a little bit stronger. It's like, I also would say that just by focusing on transitions for so long early on, it did like, I probably could have put some focus on other places sooner than I did.
You waited till 6 years in to start writing jokes.
Not even 6 years, but I do remember somebody said to me like 2 years in, is like most of the comics in the scene, like in Hamilton, it's like I could tell you some of their jokes, but I don't really have it like because I was going up and trying new jokes all the time. Remember what you were doing?
What was I doing?
You were doing structured every time, like because you're working on your set on getting your 5. I did the opposite.
Yeah.
Because I was playing to the comics. I'm like, oh, they see me every week. I was very naive.
Yeah.
As opposed to let me build up a set list. Let me like get all these skills accumulated and just work the same repetitive, like just be repetitious about it until it gets better.
Yeah.
I just didn't do that until someone pulled me aside. It's like I don't even know any of your jokes because every week you come up doing something different.
Yeah.
But again, I was trying to figure out how to do the Lego piece thing. So I think it's important to obviously like get some advice from the homies around you that you trust.
Yep.
Kind of got to trust your own instinct and see where you're weakest at.
Yeah. Also,
and play to your strengths.
another thing, and I think I could also add to this because he's only 13 mics in.
Yeah.
Right. So the performance side of it is going to get better the more comfortable you are on stage.
Correct. But
right?
the jokes may not unless you're working on that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, because I had jokes, and this is something that Kenny told me. He's like, you got to bring that performance energy up, because I was just going up there and telling jokes.
Yeah, like they're scripted almost. Like you're going, this is joke 1, this is joke 2, this is joke 3.
Basically.
Yeah, and you can feel that cadence if you're the audience.
Yeah. But now I'm having a little bit more fun because I'm more comfortable. Now I'm doing smaller, like small act outs and, you know, doing this and playing with, you know.
Like what made me even focus on transitions is I narrowed in on what I loved about my favorite comedians the most. And the thing was, all of my favorites are complete. Like you can't tell when one joke starts and one joke ends. It just kind of, everything just flows like it's conversational.
Yeah.
And that to me is perfect. Because like if you can get it to feel like you're just having a conversation with one person, but it's everybody's that one person, you can say anything and do anything on that stage, bro. It's because they feel like it's like family or your best friend.
Yeah.
And that only comes with, you know,
Virtual private nigga.
Virtual private nigga. That's so funny. Swag surfing on the internet. It really is like a blend of both things.
Yeah.
Performance and writing. It's not performance versus writing. It's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can only perform what you write, but also figure out what your writing style is too, I think is a really important thing. Because I tried to force it, like I said early on. It's like I would sit down and be like, I got to do writing for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for me. So I think you had to figure out what works.
Yeah. And also, you're not going to know what works until you perform it.
Or even until you try it. You know,
Well,
like with writing, you know what I mean?
Do it on stage. Like you can write all you want, but if you're there to do stand-up, you're not going to know it's funny until you do it on stage. Like there are things that you laugh at, you know, because like I write jokes, or when jokes come to me, it's because I'm laughing at something.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me, but do I know if it's funny to other people? Not until I put it in front of other people.
True. Yeah, let's read some of these comments. You've done 13 mics. You're still learning how to write jokes, still learning how to perform them. The only way to learn and improve is through practice, trial and error. Eventually, you'll figure out how to get more out of your material, how to tighten it up, how to better sell it.
That's another metric when you're asking about like within the 150 sets.
Yeah.
Tightening it up.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It comes over time. Once you learn your jokes a little better, you know what words to add and
what to
like
cut
what's
out.
the crucial part of the joke.
Yeah.
Like the skeletal structure. Everything else can kind of go. That's why all my sets are completely different. Like I have the jokes, but I don't tell them the same to every audience.
Yeah.
It's like I know the punch, I know the beats, and sometimes I don't even use all the beats. Sometimes I rearrange the punch.
Yeah.
But like just knowing the structure of that joke is probably the most important part. The only way to learn and improve is through practice, trial, and error. Yeah. If you only write and perform jokes you have the ability to pull off, you're just going to be telling bad jokes badly forever. The painful part of starting stand-up is knowing you're funny, having funny jokes, yet not being able to convince anyone else of these facts. Beautifully said. You have to believe in yourself and your ability if you want to improve. Restricting and limiting yourself is pointless and self-defeating. 13 mics is basically nothing in the grand scheme of things. That's around 1 hour of stage time total. Give yourself a chance. This is solid advice for the 2 out of 9 people who try stand-up who are actually funny. It might be 1 out of 9. It might be 1 out of 20.
-2 downvoted.
Downvoted? That's funny. I'm hilarious between the time I write a joke up until the second I start telling that joke on stage. That's fun. If you believe in the joke, rewrite it. Try it until it works or run out of faith. If you have to rely on delivery alone, well, if you deep fry a turd, roll it in MSG and serve it with butter sauce. A lot of people will probably enjoy eating that, but it's still a turd. You could just serve anything like that. Interesting
Crazy
way to put it. If they're funny to you, they're funny. You just have to figure out how to frame what's funny about them. Delivery could be a factor. If there's an incongruity in the punchline, you can, that word messed me up. You can see it in the lead up or the punch need a different emphasis to deliver the punchline. Maybe the perspective is wrong. Maybe the angle with the humor isn't your perspective. Maybe it's just the other perspective or a spectator perspective. If I have a joke about sweeping a floor with a broom, my perspective about my sweeping job isn't hitting, but the broom's perspective is funny. Or maybe it's funny to think about someone's perspective who is watching me sweep. Does that make sense? If it's funny to you, but it's not working, try describing it differently or try a different angle. That's actually pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you'll bring something to the stage and it's just you that, like, you can't quite figure out how to make it funny to anybody else.
Yeah, or it just might be that audience. Because as an example, the first time I did garbage bags, nobody laughed.
Yeah, but it's also the first time you did it, so you probably didn't even do it the way it works in your mind.
I did it almost the same way the next night.
Yeah,
smashed.
Yeah, but that's just the one joke. I need to see the whole set, how you were doing.
True.
You know what I mean?
True, but my point is...
Because you have one banger, but you gave him 3 minutes of dry turd.
Dry
rolled MSG. Up in
MSG. Rolled up in Madison Square Garden. What?
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no.
The punch isn't going to hit 100%. Regardless. They already made their decision.
True, but it also could be just that one particular crowd. Might not work here, but it might work somewhere else.
This is where the honesty comes into play.
Yep.
Like, you have to really, you gotta
be honest.
You gotta be honest with yourself and assessing your performances and stuff.
Yep.
It's like, you can't be overly critical, but you have to be critical enough to where you're not sugarcoating shit and you get better.
Mm-hmm.
Black Zeus the Podcast Season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram.